G'day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between. Welcome to howtoplaythesax.com, where we are all about having fun, playing saxophone, being awesome, and repeating. And speaking of awesome, I am honoured to have a special guest with me today. I've got Pete from the UK. Pete has been playing his saxophone for a little while, but I'll let him tell you a little bit about that. Pete's been playing his sax for a year or two or thereabouts, and he has very kindly joined me this evening or today where he is. I'm in Melbourne, he's in the UK. Pete, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me.
No problems at all, Matthew. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Quick question. Tell me a little bit, Pete. Who are you? Can you give me the 10 or the 20-second version? Who are you, and what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely no problems at all. So a little bit of background. I spent joined the army as a boy soldier. Spent 22 years in the military. Left in 2005, and I now work for the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, which I've been in there now for 17 years. And I've had a cracking time. I picked up, as you say, right at the beginning, playing saxophone as we hit COVID. Decided I wanted to learn and play, something I've always wanted to do, and I've just progressed it from there and thoroughly enjoy it.
Awesome. Okay, so forgive me if I've misunderstood. Did you start the saxophone because of COVID, or coincidentally just before it?
It was just before. It's something I've always wanted to do. I remember it goes back to when I was in the military, and I listened to this. One of my colleagues was learning to play the saxophone, and again, it's like everything, isn't it? You start off and there's those squeaky bum notes, and you think, oh, how's it going, and that, and I just heard him progress, and I just think, I've always wanted to do it. I just love the sound of the saxophone as well. And I had the opportunity when COVID kicked in right at the beginning, and I thought, now's the right time for me to do it, and I did it.
Awesome. Okay, because the armies, I know the army here in Australia, and the police, particularly the police as well, they have some really good bands. I know a guy I used to go to school with years and years and years ago. He joined the army purely to be in the band. Was that? Were you involved in the army
not
band?
At all. Not at all. No. I mean, I've dabbled a little bit with music when I was a youngster at school. We had a little 3-piece band, and I was a drummer. Can't read music for toffee, but it was all by ear and rhythm and everything. So we played a little bit of the Shadows and a bit of Wipeout by the Surfers and that sort of stuff. And I did the drumming and then left that because obviously at 16 I joined the army. Did my 22, but still had an interest in music from that, but I just never had the opportunity.
Okay, so so you were the drummer in a when you were a bit younger. The Wipeout, the drum solo for a young drummer in the Wipeout. That's hard.
Yeah,
that's tricky.
It's really hard, really hard. And what I got to the point was I was able to use the tom-toms and go across the tom-toms from a different beat just to get the different rhythm and a different sound. And again, it was just all by ear because, as I say, I can't read sheet music at all. So the cheat sheets are just absolutely fantastic because I can memorize the keys and on the sax and be able to use the cheat sheets, which is brilliant for me. So everything really for me is by ear and just listening and picking up the sound.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm very much that way too. I can read the music, but I'm not very good at it. And it was amusing a couple of weeks ago. I'm lucky I play in a couple of bands here, and the bass player and the keyboard player and we were sort of writing down some stuff because we were learning a new song, and I had a look at their scribbles, and it was very similar to the cheat sheets that I make, and I laughed. I had a look at the bass players doing the same thing and the keyboard players doing the same thing, and it turned out they can't read music either. So it kind
Unbelievable.
Whatever's good makes it easy. And anyway, so you don't play the drums anymore?
No, not anymore. Been a little bit older. Haven't got the dexterity anymore.
Fair enough. So was there a gap in your musical journey? Was there when you're a young bloke?
Yeah, it was quite a big gap. As I say, I sort of stopped at 16 when I joined the army, and I didn't really pick up, even though I had the interest in the music and listening to it, I didn't pick up a musical instrument really until COVID. So that was taken into my mid-50s.
Awesome. So it was just sort of listening to your friend in the army and thought,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could do that. And
yeah.
that's
It
what,
was, yeah, and it was
oh,
interesting as well because
awesome. Good on you.
people got people talking to me and saying, "Oh God, that's a really hard instrument to learn. It's a really difficult one," but I found it quite easy.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know why. I think, dare I say, it's down to your tutorage.
Thank you. This is not a paid sponsorship, but
Yeah, I
thank
haven't
you.
got paid for
No,
that one yet.
no, no,
But
checks in the
no,
mail.
I think for me is because of the way you teach it, you break the risks down and you make it easy and repeatable. So it's easy then just to remember the key, where they are on the keys, and I just find it really easy for me to learn.
Okay.
So it's explanation, demonstration, and repeat. And for
Yep.
me, that works volumes.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. I find the same. If it's finger choreography,
Yeah.
and if you can set, and I've said before, if I can hear it in my head,
Hmm.
if I can sing it in my head, I can play it, and I strongly believe that that's the same for everyone,
Yeah.
and possibly yourself too. Uh,
Yeah, and the cheat sheets work brilliantly. And I think the classic one for me now at the moment, I picked up was summer, because we're obviously over in the UK. It's summer at the moment,
mm,
and you've just done summertime,
yep.
and picked it up. Absolutely got it brilliantly. And like you say, the thing I like about it is as well, I've messed around with it. I've slowed it down, speeded it up slightly, changed the tone, the length of the notes, and everything else. Uh,
Mm.
Again, down to how I feel at the time of playing it.
Oh, cool. So you slowed down the videos?
No, no, no. I haven't slowed the videos down. I've just slowed down how I'm playing in to try and hook in,
Ah, yeah.
sort of
Okay.
thing.
Yep.
To extend out the notes, and then
Yes.
hooking in, and picking it up as you go through.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so for me,
Yeah.
that's worked really well.
Oh, good. Good. Slowing it down and playing it ridiculously slowly and getting used to it. And again,
Yeah,
fingers, ears, brain,
yeah,
mouths.
yeah.
That does make it easier, and then you can
And
speed
and
it
and
up.
and for me as well, I had a major tendon realignment operation on my left hand, so I hadn't been able to play a
Oh,
saxophone for quite a while. So this is actually helping with the physio and the dexterity in the fingers to play, and everything
interesting.
else as well. So again, it's another. It's not just having fun playing the sax. It's actually I'm using it for the
Mm.
beneficial physio side of things as well for me.
Ah, right. Well, that's really interesting. So, did the physiotherapist prescribe that or suggest that, or was that just a happy coincidence? Or
Well, I did speak when after the operation. I spoke to the physio, and she said that's going to be really good for the dexterity of the fingers to get the tendons working, extensions and grip,
mm.
and it's helped a lot for the
Oh,
dexterity
good.
on the fingers, which is brilliant.
Right. Okay. You were obviously rescuing dragons and saving maidens in distress when you
Absolutely,
hurt your hand. Yeah,
absolutely.
good. Good. Well done. Nice. Excellent. Moving on. Moving on. So, what kind of music do you like playing, first of all? Because possibly listening that's a separate thing. What do you like playing?
Yeah, I think actually
Genre?
it's the styles, the genre is the styles that you have, within the lessons.
Okay.
A lot of I like some of the modern stuff, and when I was challenged by my youngest son, when you set up that lesson, I think Insomnia, wasn't it? And I
Yes.
wasn't expecting him to challenge me on that one, but I think obviously he saw the YouTube video and he thought, oh,
Yep.
I'll challenge Dad on that one.
Yes. You sent me a
But
link
I
a little
did,
while ago.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But I
Yep.
think for me, my genre is around the 80s and the 90s style of music. Being an older generation person as I am, I sort of enjoy that era, and what
Mm.
you're doing from the lesson side of things fits in with that for me really well.
Oh, good. Oh, great. That's good to hear. Thank you. I and again, I've said it before. You've heard me before, but anyone who's listening or watching this may or may not. I strongly believe if it's not fun, then
Mm.
given we've probably turned 21. I don't know about you, but I've turned 21 a couple of times now.
Yeah, a
Um,
couple of times.
yeah, and so. Yeah, it's a little bit different if you're a young kid in early high school, but for an older, and I apologise, I can't think of a better word, for someone who's turned 21 a couple of times, if it's not fun, then don't do it. It's kind of
No,
that
exactly.
simple, really.
Yeah.
And so that I like the songs that I take requests, and a lot of those songs are requests, but a lot of them are songs that I enjoy as
Mm.
well. I personally I like a drum beat in a song, but whether that's jazz or rock or funk or blues
Mm.
or insert genre here, I personally I prefer the funk and the blues and the rock,
Yeah, yeah.
but each to their own. What about listening? What do you listen to?
Awesome. It's a mix. To be honest, it's a real mixture of genre right across. Um, we've got. I'm just trying to think what we've got here. Again, I do like the blues.
Mm,
I like just simple. Just chill out music in that as well.
yep.
And certainly, certainly nowadays where everybody's running at like 110 miles an hour, there's nothing like just chilling out in the evenings and listening to some upbeat but chilled music
Mm,
in the garden with a glass of wine. Always works
mm.
wonders.
Nice, nice. So, what are your musical goals or aspirations? Are you going to be a rock star when you grow up, or you
Maybe
play
I'm
at
working
Wembley
on it.
Stadium? Yeah, me too.
Interestingly,
Yes, any day now, I'm sure.
yeah, interestingly, a really good friend of mine is a classical pianist, but he plays different types of genre on the piano,
Mm.
and he's desperate to get me into an open mic night in our local pub. They have an open mic night once a month or whatever, and he's desperate to
Yes.
get us in there
Oh,
for us
good.
to be together, me on the sax, him on the piano,
Yep.
and still a little bit nervous about it because every
Mm.
now and again, you still get those little squeaky notes sort of thing, but you just go through it and play through it. It's like you say, no note is a bum note,
You
and
just don't play to the
it's
next
just
one.
having, I
That's right.
suppose, really, it's just having
Yes.
that confidence in
Mm.
standing in front of people and playing. And I've done it a couple of times here in where I live. We had after the second lockdown finished, it was nice weather, and we had a bit of a street barbecue, and they said, "Oh, you go and get your saxophone." And I'm not so sure, but they convinced me, and yeah, it was great. So I was
Oh,
out playing for
good.
them and that as well, and
Oh,
so that
fantastic.
was really good. I enjoyed that.
Were
So
there other musicians, or you were playing just
no,
by
it was
yourself,
just it
or
was just me. It was
with some
just me.
backing tracks, or literally
I
just
had a couple. I had a
naked
couple of backing
saxophone?
tracks. Yeah, a couple of backing tracks, and then it was just me on the saxophone with no other music. It's just using the rhythms. As you say, it's in my head, and I'm
Yeah.
playing. I'm singing along in my head and going through it as well. So
Fantastic. Was it you were playing some songs or just making it up as you went along, or?
it was the songs. It was because loads of cheat sheets.
Yes. Yeah.
Loads of cheat sheets on the iPad, and I'm just going through them. I said, yeah, this one's a little bit of Roxy Music, Brian Ferry. Here's a
Mm.
little bit of Queen,
Yep.
and a little bit of Baker Street.
Oh, that sounds great fun.
It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Really good fun. Really good fun. And then I
Oh,
finished off
good.
with the Insomnia one.
Yes. Great. Good. That's the closing of the show.
Yeah, that's the closing one.
The biggest hit
Yeah, yeah.
for Pete and his saxophone gigs. Awesome. Awesome. That's fantastic. What have you enjoyed about the saxophone? What's been the highlight for you?
For me, it's actually seeing where I started. And I must admit, I didn't realise how bad I was until I got my eldest son when they came over to stay with us. I said, "Oh, I'm going to get you to play, have a go on the saxophone." So I got him playing "Mary Had a Funky Lamb,"
Excellent.
and
Yes.
it was interesting to see. Oh, I must have been that bad when I first started, and actually, it's actually seen how I've progressed from where I started with the saxophone, going through right the basic lessons to where I am now, looking at all the different lessons and actually, oh, I actually quite like the sound of that song. I'm going to give that one a go, see how we get on. And I'm able to pick and choose now and think, actually, yeah, I can do it. And I have that confidence now and that ability. And I've seen how I've grown so much in being able to play the saxophone as well, and the confidence it's given me and being able to play the music and the instrument. as well.
Oh, oh, good. That's really good to hear. I enjoy it too, and I'll play anywhere, anytime with
Mm.
anyone. And yes, sometimes it's nice playing classical music, and sometimes it's nice playing death metal, and sometimes it's nice playing this and jazz. I love jazz. I especially love
Yeah,
listening to jazz. But just playing, like you were saying before about the sort of the chill out. It's kind of really nice to just turn the world off and just go down into the music
yeah,
and
yeah.
the
I just feel like
saxophone.
I can just I just sit here. I'm on my own, and I can just turn off everything, and I can just focus on playing, practicing different styles of how I want to play that sort of song. And for me, I get lost in it at times.
Yep, yep. It's yeah, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And I actually like hiding behind my saxophone. The saxophone's kind of big and chunky, and it's in front, and I kind of hide behind it. I use it as a not as a shield, but
Mm,
a mental protection between me and whoever
mm.
is watching, whether that's a video that I'm playing along with, or whether it's some people at a pub, like you say. The What I did, you mentioned to me ages ago,
Mm.
you played your saxophone at a birthday party.
Yeah,
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
it was my granddaughter's. I think it was her. I'm just trying to think how old she is. It was her fifth birthday, and it was not long after I started learning with you in playing the saxophone. And I because they live overseas in your neck of the woods, as we spoke in Canberra, and we were FaceTiming them, wishing them a happy birthday, and I kept messaging them saying, oh, I've got a really nice surprise for you and everything else, and they were trying to get it out of me, and I said, no, 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 you'll find out when we FaceTime on the book for your birthday, and we come home and wish you a happy birthday, sort of thing. So we FaceTimed them, came out, we wished them a happy birthday, and I said, oh, hang on, I just need to disappear. So I went away, picked up the saxophone, I came back. They started laughing because they thought it was a pretend saxophone and it'd just be squeaky noise and everything else. Set up the iPad with happy birthday from the cheat sheet and everything else. And I just went straight into it and played happy birthday for my granddaughter. And my eldest son was there, and their faces just lit up. It was a absolute joy to see the pleasure on their face, and they were just starstruck, in awe of me being able to play happy birthday on the saxophone as I did, and sort of finished, and there was that little bit of a wobble in the throat as you started talking again, and you could see they were just amazed by it. It was one of those moments I think I'll never forget.
Fantastic. That's beautiful. To be brutally honest, I reckon that's better than playing with the Rolling Stones at Wembley Stadium, or Madison Square Gardens.
Yeah,
Or I personally, I think that's just beautiful. That is just wonderful,
it
and
was. It was just something I will never forget.
excellent. Good on you. Congratulations. That's really really
Thank you very
beautiful.
much.
That's You should be really proud of that. And if Granddad's a rock star, then even
Yeah,
better. Even
yeah, it
better.
is absolutely.
Cool. So what's been a challenge with your saxophone? What have you found hard? What have
I
you
think
found
for me,
difficult?
the challenge is from the dexterity from the hands from the operation. Is I
Mm,
don't have on some of the notes when for instance, if we're looking for a G sharp, sometimes I have issues with the little pinky on the left hand to get it down and to
mm,
hold it in,
mm,
since I've had the operation. And sometimes it's having the speed of the tune.
mm.
So sometimes it's nice for me. I just like to slow it down a little bit, and sometimes actually I find slowing it down I enjoy it better than playing
Yep.
at the normal speed.
Yes.
But for me, it's having that little bit more of a lack of dexterity than what I had before.
Mm,
Um, so that's really my challenge, and sometimes picking up some of the songs where it's a little bit quicker and going across into the different keys where you're using the thumb for the register key, or actually going into the higher notes when you on the left hand at the top when you're using the three keys on the sides. So
yep.
sometimes I find that a little bit difficult, but overall, from where I was to where I am now, like you say, I think I'm an awesome rock star.
Good. Good on you. Good on you. It does, like all things, all new skills. it takes a little bit of time, and that's all right. That's all right, as long as the key is that you're having fun. The
Absolutely.
That's interesting. I mean, when you think about it, even a hand that hasn't had an operation on it, your pinky fingers are, I won't say pretty useless really, but my pinkies don't do much.
No.
When I stop and think about it, really the only thing my pinkies do is G sharps on the left hand, and occasionally an E flat or a C on the right hand.
Yeah.
But that's it. I don't think I can think of an example where my
No.
pinkies do anything else. And so what that means is the muscles in your hands for normal people, pinkies are pretty useless. And so it
Yeah.
does take time to, and exercise, like when you're doing, bodybuilding and growing your
Hmm.
biceps. It's the same. It's the same. So
It's interesting as well because the E flat, don't have an issue on that coming down. That seems
right.
to be quite good. Which
Is
is
that because it's the other hand?
it's just this, yeah, it's that little
Yeah.
pinky. It's just
Yeah.
sometimes doesn't want to play.
Yeah. That's fair enough. I'm My knees do that. I've got dodgy knees, and every now and then they don't do what I want them to do either. But hey, possibly that's just comes with turning 21 a few more times. But
Yeah,
that's all
absolutely.
right. That's all right. So it sounds like you've had some really wonderful experiences with your saxophone. You've got your piano friend. Do you
Yeah.
play with him?
We haven't yet. We keep meaning to hook up and practice.
Mm,
Keep saying, "Oh, look, we've got to get together, do the duet and everything else, and just play some of the songs and everything." So again, we I think in the next week or so we're going to try and hook up,
yep.
because it's easier to go around his house because he's got the piano there, and
It's hard to move a
I can
piano.
carry my saxophone around. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't really want to see him pushing his piano down the road coming to my house, sort
No.
of thing.
Mm. Have you got some
So
songs in
yeah.
mind?
Say again, sorry.
Have you got some songs in mind to play with
We
your piano
haven't,
friend?
no. I think because he from where how he plays, for him, he's quite easy to flex and bend across.
Oh, good.
So we're looking a bit of little bit of jazz, from that side, a little bit of rock, which we can bring in from the Queen
Yep.
aspects of thing.
Mm.
Um, and so we're just going to play it by ear, to be honest.
Excellent. Good.
So.
That sounds good.
And we're going to
Good.
do a little bit of recording as well. He wants to do a bit of recording on it.
Yep.
So if it works out, I can send something through to you.
Please, yes, that would be really good. The recordings, I would strongly encourage to do recordings, because you can get it wrong and you just press delete and you do it again and you do it again, and then you get it right and you listen back, and it's like hearing your own voice on a
Mm.
recording. Do I really sound like that? Is that true? Is that what I really sound like? And from a saxophone perspective, that's a good thing. You can't really do anything about your voice. It is what it is. But the saxophone, you can decide, if you, particularly with a recording,
Mm.
it's either really forgiving and you go, that's all right, or it's go, oh man, is that, oh, let's do that again. But you can press the
Yeah.
delete button and you only keep the ones that you like. So I would strongly recommend, if there's recording opportunities, even with you just put your phone
Yeah.
down and press record on the voice app, and press play on the on your hi-fi or your stereo or whatever, and just play along and record it. Yes, do that, and especially if you've got a friend who
Mm.
plays the piano. So with that in mind, if it's not a regular thing just yet, and I apologize if I put you on the spot, how do you make time to play your saxophone? I mean, yes, if you've hurt your hand, you have time off, of course, and life, and then
Hmm.
something
Hmm.
else happens. How do you fit in the saxophone to your
So
life?
I'm quite fortunate. So like today for me, it's Friday afternoon for me. I know it's Friday evening for yourself. So, but Fridays is a non-working day for me. So I'm able to take the time and use that time maybe once a week, or even on a weekend, Saturday and Sunday, to go through, play a couple of songs, keep it ticking over, and try different variations of how I want to play it. So I look to try and do at least twice a week, towards the weekend, so I can get that
Mhm.
and still keep it ticking over and working.
Yep.
Um,
Okay. Just, did you have it set up in the corner, or are you
yeah,
dedicated?
Yeah, my wife my wife says, "Oh, our living room is a saxophonist's living room because it sits on its stand in the corner alongside the TV. I can just go in
Yes.
and pick it up, and away I go."
Yep. My wife, yeah, she does the same. Yeah, maybe let's back away from that little avenue of conversation. I think I understand what you're saying there, Pete. It's the same here at my end. Same here at my end. Maybe as a final towards the end question, what advice would you give to beginner saxophonists? And the reason I ask that, for us people we're a little bit older than, we're not a 14-year-old who's learning
Mhm.
an instrument for the first time in high school. We have preconceived ideas. We know what it should sound like. We can get a little bit frustrated at the start when it doesn't. I was pleased to hear that along your journey, where you're mentioning a few minutes ago, you have noticeably progressed in
Mhm.
your own mind, and it gets easier, and that's good. So what, with that in mind, what advice would you give to other beginner saxophonists who are playing for the first time, especially for adults?
Yeah, for me is just go with it. Don't worry about hitting the wrong notes or not being able to keep up with the speed or whatever. For me, it's about just understanding, and for me, certainly not really being able to read sheet music, is memorizing the keys. The keys are actually really easy to memorize,
Yep.
where they are, the positions, and everything else,
Mm.
and have confidence in your own ability and perseverance, because it will come, and all of a sudden something will happen and you'll play this song and it's there, and that joy of actually hitting those notes at the same rhythm and tempo, and the smile that you get on your face afterwards because you've struggled going through it. And I would say have that perseverance and keep practicing, even if it's, as you say, 10 minutes here, 30 minutes there. Just keep practicing as often as you can right at the beginning, because you'll get that muscle mind memory with your hands and your fingers and the music, and it will just click and it will come. It might take longer for some than it will for others, but it will come. So just stick with it, persevere, but most importantly, really enjoy it, because it is an awesome instrument to play, and I love it.
Great. Have fun, play saxophone, be awesome, and repeat.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you. Let's leave it there. Thank you so much, Pete. That's really interesting, and especially about especially about the physiotherapist concept for your hand, and
Mm.
the just beautiful story about your granddaughter's birthday. That just I cannot emphasize how wonderful I feel about that. That just makes it. I'm struggling. It's really good. So well done. Keep doing what you're doing. Please keep having fun. And if I can help you anyway, please let me know. But
Absolutely.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me here, Pete. It's really good fun talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me, Matthew. It's been brilliant.
Awesome. Thank you.